Jupiter is going to enter the sign of Gemini on the 25th of May at around 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're checking for your own time zone in order to get the correct ascendant. The Jupiter-Pluto aspect is prominent at the beginning of the ingress. Jupiter and Pluto aspecting each other is an aspect of big money, other people's money, or some type of luck with big money. So perhaps some of you will get rich or wealthier as a result of this transit. Of course, investing in communications and technology will bring in gains. Jupiter in Gemini is going to be free of the conjunction with Uranus. This is going to free us up from anxiety, instability, and the unexpected just popping up into our lives. Let's keep in mind that Jupiter is entering into the sign of Gemini while it's combust the sun. So we may have to wait until about June 7th when Jupiter rises and becomes visible. Jupiter is cazimi the sun on May 18th at 28 degrees of Taurus. This is a reset that happens once a year before he enters into a new sign. Some astrologers believe that Jupiter conjunct the sun is one of the luckiest days of the year. So if you need a little bit of a magic touch, you need some luck, look out for the 18th of May and use that energy to your advantage. It's like he's shaking off that fixed Taurus energy in order to rise into mutable energy in the sign of Gemini. So if you need to make major life-changing decisions, it's best for you to wait until Jupiter is visible so he can give you his bountiful blessings. Jupiter has a 12-year cycle around the zodiac. Do you remember what happened the last time he was in the sign of Gemini 12 years ago? It's not going to be the same thing simply because the outer planets are in different positions this time around, and the North Node and the South Node were also in different signs. I'm giving away 2 free solar return chart readings. All you have to do is like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, comment in the comment section of this video saying free solar and subscribed. That will get you into the contest. Make sure your subscription is open so that I can see your subscription. I'll be choosing the 2 lucky winners on my next new moon video. Watch the next few videos to hear the announcement of the names of the winners. Hello YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo, your personal astrologer. Thank you for being here. If you're new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you may be notified whenever I upload new videos. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. Also share this video on your social media platform. You just never know who needs to hear this message. My channel is dedicated to personal astrology, so therefore that means that there's no mundane astrology. I focus on you. I focus on what's happening in your personal life. Please make sure you leave a comment under this video. Let us know what you think Jupiter is going to bring for your ascendant. I'm going to focus on the beginning of the transit of Jupiter into the sign of Gemini because this is where the sweet spot is. Later on, Jupiter is going to start making squares to Saturn, who's transiting the sign of Pisces. So this is where we're all going to be challenged. This is the checkpoint. This is where we're going to probably have to make some tough decisions. This is coming a little bit later and we'll discuss this in future videos. But just keep in mind that whatever you're initiating with this transit, there will be a checkpoint. Saturn is the professor who's going to grade you on how you've been performing since this transit started. So the bountiful aspect that Jupiter is going to make as soon as he enters into the sign of Gemini is a harmonious trine to Pluto, who's transiting in the sign of Aquarius. However, Pluto is transiting at about 2 degrees. Jupiter is going to catch up pretty soon and make an exact trine. This is an aspect that is going to encourage positive transformation. All the things that you've been wanting to transform between the houses or between your Aquarius house and your Gemini house is going to happen harmoniously, almost effortlessly. Anything that is due you, your karma, is going to come to you without you going out there to hustle your head off. So this is something to look forward to, and this is how Jupiter is going to introduce his transit in the sign of Gemini. Harmonious sextile, beautiful energy. And what's so special about this trine is the fact that this has never happened in our lifetime because Pluto just started transiting the sign of Aquarius. So this is pretty much the first contact of Jupiter to Pluto in this harmonious aspect in our lifetime. Just so don't sit back and be lazy and let this energy just pass you by, because that's the negative side of a trine aspect. We just tend to think, oh, it's going to happen, I don't have to do anything. In most cases, if it's really aspecting your entire chart really positively, things will just happen, things will just come to you. But be on the lookout for this transit. It's happening as soon as Jupiter enters into the sign of Gemini. It's going to be activated for a couple of months. I really think the transition of Jupiter into the sign of Gemini is going to encourage us to be a lot more social with each other. We lost our social nature with the pandemic. Jupiter in Gemini is like us coming out to be social again, to be social in our communities. To benefit the most out of this transit, I'm going to encourage you to visit local spots in your neighborhood. If you're looking to make connections, you're looking for new friends, perhaps you're looking for a romantic relationship, I would encourage you to step away a bit from the dating apps and to see what's really going on in your neighborhood. Make friends with your neighbors. Find out who your neighbors are. Find out about the social do's that are going on in your own local environment. We have all been waiting for this transition to occur because Jupiter in Taurus was somewhat a bit slow and was slow to show its results. The sign of Gemini is symbolized by the twins. This is why Geminis tend to like two of everything. They like to have options. So that means that we're going to have a lot of options, or perhaps even too many options. We're going to become curious. We're going to want to acquire lots of information, lots of communication. But the good thing about this sign is, since it's a dual sign, we're going to be able to look at the two sides of a story instead of just being set in a way and just wanting things away as it was in a fixed sign of Taurus. So that fixed energy is out of the way. Now we want to see change. We want to see rapid change. Gemini is one of the most social signs of the zodiac. It's highly communicative, intelligent. Gemini is the sign that rules the natural third house of the zodiac. The third house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over communication. It rules over the gadgets that we use to make our daily life easier. It also rules over the vehicles that we use to get back and forth in our neighborhood. Gemini has its hand in a lot of pies. Also rules over our self-talk and our thoughts. Jupiter is the planet of abundance. Jupiter is the planet that brings joy and hope in whatever sign or house that it goes through. So Jupiter is there to bless that house and bring some joy and abundance. Jupiter rules two signs in our zodiac. It rules the sign of Sagittarius and it rules the sign of Pisces. You're going to see benefits and abundance coming from the two houses that Jupiter rules, put into the sign that Jupiter is transiting. So Jupiter is bringing energy of the two houses that he rules into the sign of Gemini, into your Gemini house. This is why most people love the transits of Jupiter, and this is why most people look forward to this transit. The ninth house is a lucky house. It rules over our future, our belief system, our ideals. And this belief system is something, usually these belief systems are usually passed down to us from somebody who we look up to, like a priest, a guru, a professor. Jupiter rules foreign lands. So the opportunities that may come to you will come to people who have something foreign about them. They may be from foreign lands, or you'd have opportunities from foreign lands, or the ability to travel to foreign lands, or the ability to go to university and get a degree, or the ability to change your belief system through religion. This energy is brought into the sign of Gemini, the sign of communication, neighborhoods, technology. We have to combine what these two houses signify in order to see exactly how it's going to work out in the sign that is transiting. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules two signs in the zodiac. It rules Gemini and Virgo. Mercury in the sign of Gemini is interested in information for the sake of information. Any type of information to Gemini is useful. It's all about collecting data, collecting data for studies. The third house rules over our basic education. It's an excellent transit for you to use to learn something that's pretty basic. Jupiter is in detriment in the sign of Gemini, and this is because Jupiter is ruled, and this is because Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, which is opposite the sign of Gemini. Jupiter is not going to be able to give us the most abundance in the sign of Gemini. So we have to be really intelligent as to how we use this transit in the sign of Gemini, because Jupiter can also just expand the real negative aspects of Gemini. Every sign has a dark side and a light side. We have to watch out for the negative sides of Gemini: talking too much, talking without thinking, gossiping, or being too busy in the head. Or just being too busy in the head, overthinking things. Jupiter will also expand collaboration. So if you've been wanting to collaborate with someone, perhaps do an interview, an astrology collaboration, this is an excellent time for you to do so. If you've been wanting to start a side hustle, Jupiter is going to support you in that, because after all, Mercury is the merchant. Mercury is the salesman of the zodiac. Mercury is the merchant. Mercury rules over commerce and selling. You adapt to shopping in your neighborhood, going to the local pub and just interacting with people, having conversations with people. You're going to find more success and joy. People are going to start talking a whole lot faster. If you're one of those people who only communicates over the internet, or you're only a texter, I would encourage you to pick up the phone. You know, that phone that you have in your pocket, it does dial out and a person does actually respond with a voice. So I encourage people to start talking more, because Gemini is a very communicative sign. It's a very talkative sign. I have my sun in the 3rd house. This is why you see me talking a lot. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy interacting with people. And if you have a business that you're trying to implement, your neighborhood is the spot. Find a location in your neighborhood. You're more likely to succeed, because people want to actually talk to people than only speaking to people on the internet or via text. So be much more interactive, be more curious. Jupiter is going to expand communication in every way. So if you haven't really been communicating with your siblings, this is time to get in touch. This is time to pick up the phone and call your sister, call your brother, call your childhood friends. These are all the things that Gemini rules. So you have this possibility to repair relationship, to reconcile broken connections through communication. The 3rd house is a house of effort. This is where we have to apply ourselves. It's a sextile aspect. It's a Martian aspect. It's a Martian house. We have to do something in order to get results. So don't think Jupiter is just going to dump blessings in front of your door. You have to go out there and interact in order to get those blessings. You have to communicate in all the types of communication forms that are available to you. This is how you get results with Jupiter transiting the sign of Gemini. Anyone who has their natal Jupiter in the sign of Gemini has this ability to communicate. They're probably very adaptable to changes in their relationships with their siblings, with their neighbors, or adaptable to learning new technology. This is an awesome transit to use to learn new technology. If you don't know how to use the internet, if you don't know how to use apps or to navigate websites, this is the time for you to go and learn how to use the internet. This is a fantastic time for you to get training for some type of skill, a skill that you can learn using your hands. People who have skills that use their hands are going to be in high demand. Jobs around your neighborhood where you can just drive around, do Uber or DoorDash, are also going to become very profitable now. People are naturally going to adapt to using facilities in their own neighborhood. So if you have great business ideas, this is definitely the time for you to go for it. The negative side of this transit could be, like, if you're one of those people who has really negative self-talk, you're so in your head. This is going to get expanded, because Jupiter expands whenever it touches. So take this time to reduce the negative self-talk while Jupiter is still transiting in the sign of Taurus. Learn to have positive self-talk before Jupiter moves into Gemini, because if you have negative self-talk, Jupiter is going to expand that when he moves into the sign of Gemini. It will probably have a detrimental effect on your psyche. So if you're suffering from mental health issues, I suggest that you check in with your doctor. take your meds, make sure you're following the instructions of your doctor, and if you're in therapy, make sure you go for your therapy sessions, because Jupiter can expand negative self-talk. It can expand mental health issues. That is a negative side of this transit. And for those people who are just on the verge of mental health issues, could actually put you in a situation where you need help. And this transit is excellent for you to use to get healing through therapy, through talk therapy. So if you do need to speak with a therapist, a psychologist, or an astrologer, or perhaps you just need spiritual guidance, this is an excellent time for you to go for that type of healing, that type of therapy. The last time Jupiter entered Gemini was on June 11, 2012, and previously June 2000. Think back to see what happened in your life the other times that Jupiter entered the sign of Gemini. It will be similar themes simply because it's the same houses that he's entering again. Keep in mind that the outer planets and the North Node are in totally different signs. When Jupiter enters into the sign of Gemini on the 25th of May 2024, you'll be activating the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that happened in December 2020. So we may see themes from that time get reactivated. Jupiter in Gemini is being hosted by Mercury. Whatever aspects Mercury makes over the following year are going to be very important. So that means that we have to look out for all the Mercury retrogrades as well. However, let's keep in mind that Jupiter in the sign of Gemini is in detriment because he's dominant in the opposite sign of Sagittarius, one of the signs that he rules. One of the other really important aspects that Jupiter is going to make while he's in the sign of Gemini is that when he hits about 1429 degrees of Gemini, he's going to reactivate the Gemini Venus star point that is happening on June 4th. So this is going to happen a little bit later on. This is going to be a positive activation. And when Jupiter reaches about 20 degrees of Gemini, he is going to reactivate the previous Leo Venus star point that happened around August 13 last year. It happened at about 20 degrees of Leo. So Jupiter is going to sextile and reactivate that Venus star point, bringing opportunities to us. And of course, later on, Jupiter is going to make the challenging aspect to Saturn that I was talking about earlier. Jupiter is going to square Saturn in August and also later on in December. This is a checkpoint. Jupiter will later trine and sextile the transiting North and South Node. This is a positive aspect that is going to help us evolve towards our North Node. When Mars reaches 20 degrees of Aries, he will be reactivating his own Aries total solar eclipse that happened earlier this year. This activation is actually going to make this Jupiter ingress into the sign of Gemini somewhat karmic because the nodes are also involved. Mars will also conjunct Chiron, reactivating our old wounds. This might hurt a little bit because for some, this could be a physical wound, and we may need to cut something out in order to heal. This conjunction could also bring aggressive energy, so watch out for arguments, watch out for fights, car accidents, be careful around sharp objects, and pay attention to your surroundings. Jupiter will later sextile Chiron, allowing healing to take place. Jupiter is a planet of growth and expansion. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. Jupiter in the sign of Gemini is going to be looking at the small details, and he's going to be seeking the truth in the small details. So Jupiter will basically expand whatever information that he finds while he's transiting in the sign of Gemini. Jupiter is the natural ruler of the 9th house. The 9th house also rules over the justice system. So investigative journalism is going to expand. So if that's something that you're interested in, this is an excellent time for you to enter this type of career and expose the truth. Books are also going to be all of a sudden very popular because people will be seeking the truth, looking at old information, old texts in order to reveal the truth. So for some of you who want to be authors, this is an excellent time for you to start compiling the information that you need in order to write your book. Mercury is the dispositor of the stellium in the sign of Gemini. He's not aspecting his own sign at the time of the ingress. Mercury is transiting the sign of Taurus at about 14 degrees of Taurus. So it's more like Mercury is leaving Jupiter to do his own thing in his house. Jupiter is pretty much in charge and free to do as he pleases because the owner of the house, Mercury, is not in his own house at the time of this ingress, giving Jupiter a little bit of power and a lot of say in a house where he's in detriment. It's like your friend giving you the keys to his house and letting you do whatever you want for at least 2 weeks. This is also very positive because Jupiter can function a little bit better without the oversight of Mercury, the owner of the house. This gives more power to the positive aspect that he's making to Pluto. Jupiter is going to make a square aspect to Saturn. Saturn is being hosted by Jupiter. Jupiter is being hosted by Mercury. The Saturn-Jupiter square is not going to be as challenging because there is some type of mutual reception here. I'm a tropical Western astrologer. I use the whole sign system when I'm reading for YouTube. Make sure you're listening for your ascendant, sun, and moon sign. Aries, ascendant, sun, or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your third house. This is where you're going to experience growth, expansion, and abundance. The third house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over our siblings. It rules over the gadgets that we use on a daily basis. It rules our neighborhood, our childhood friends. It rules our mind, our thoughts and our self-talk. Jupiter rules 2 other houses in your chart. It rules your 9th house and your 12th house. So we have to take these 2 houses and incorporate them into the 3rd house. What does the 9th house rule over? It rules over the justice system, higher education, our belief system. It rules over gurus. It rules over the justice system. What does the 12th house rule? It rules over foreign lands, far off foreign lands. It rules over our generational karma. Just to name a few so you have an idea of the themes that are going to be brought up during this transit of Jupiter into the sign of Gemini. So whatever it is that you're going to be doing in the 3rd house, you have to think it is going to involve your 9th house and your 12th house. So Aries, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, please go back and listen to the introduction. Everything I said at the beginning applies to you. This transit is going to expand your mind. It's going to expand your thinking. It's going to expand the activities that you have in your neighborhood, perhaps with your neighbors or with your siblings. Some of you are going to want to educate yourselves. So perhaps you're going to decide to learn a new skill, a skill that is going to improve your earning ability. Some of you will travel to foreign lands. The 9th house is activated, the 12th house is activated. You may decide to go on a journey with a sibling. If you've been wanting to write a book, this is an excellent transit for you to start writing your book and possibly have it published by the end of the year, because the 9th house of publishing is also activated. And of course, when we write a book behind the scenes. That is the 12th house. And Jupiter transiting in your 3rd house could also expand your neighborhood. You could have more knowledge about the functions or the activities and the facilities that you have in your neighborhood. This is an excellent time for you to take advantage of those facilities. You just don't know who you're going to meet or what kind of opportunities are going to be presented to you as a result of you being more willing and open to know your neighborhood. Some of you could actually move neighborhoods, and because when Jupiter expands or changes your immediate environment, it could do that by moving you out of your current neighborhood. Aries, your ruling planet Mars is not aspecting Jupiter at the time of his ingress because you're still transiting your own sign of Aries. You have more power to influence your own house at this time. You are going to be conjuncting your own total solar eclipse, reactivating the Aries total solar eclipse. So your attention is particularly there. You're not really so involved in what's going on in the Gemini house. So it seems you have other business to take care of at the time of this ingress. Aries, if you'd like to find out how this transit is going to activate your own natal birth chart, I suggest you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Taurus, ascendant, sun, or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your 2nd house. This is where you're going to experience growth, expansion, and abundance. The second house is a Taurus house. It is a financial house. This is a lucky transit to expand your finances. The second house also rules over the family that we choose to make with another person, or our close friends that have been in our life for a very long time, and we begin to look at them as family. The second house also rules over the mouth, what you put into your mouth. So you better be watching your diet, because Jupiter is going to expand that sweet tooth of yours. The second house also rules over our self-esteem. If we're making a good living, of course, we're going to feel good about ourselves. And Jupiter is going to expand that feeling. But if you're not doing good, unfortunately, Jupiter is also going to expand that. So make sure you're looking for opportunities to make money. Jupiter rules your 8th house and your 11th house. Fortunately for you, Taurus, the 11th house is a lucky house. The 8th house is also a financial house, other people's money. So this means that some of you Tauruses will get the opportunity to use other people's money in order to enable or expand your earning ability. For some of you who are wanting to start a business and you need financial backing, this is the time to start. This is the time to get busy. Start making efforts to apply for loans, because the 8th house gives you access to other people's money. The 11th house rules over social media and benefactors. So perhaps some of you are going to get lucky that a friend or a benefactor is going to provide you with the financing that you need to get your business off the ground. This is an excellent transit for people who are proactive, people who are willing to get out there and to speak to people and speak to the right people. You have to keep in mind that the sign of Gemini is a communicative sign, and the sign is a communicative sign, and the second house is the house of the mouth. So you have to open your mouth. You have to use you have to use your mouth. You have to use communication in order to get things moving in your second house, and to improve your earning ability. You have the proper houses that you need activated in order to get ahead. This transit only happens once every 12 years. So make sure you're using every opportunity available to you in order to grow your finances, or perhaps even grow your family. Gemini is the third house of the zodiac. This is where we have to apply ourselves. You have to use some type of effort in order to make things happen. Things are just not going to magically fall into your lap. And remember, Jupiter is in detriment. Your ruling planet, Venus, is currently transiting the sign of Gemini and is part of Jupiter's ingress into this sign. You have some power. You have a say at the time of this ingress, because you're witnessing this whole transit. You can whisper into Jupiter's ear what your intentions are, what your plans are, and Jupiter will help you make this happen, because you are also communicating with Pluto, who's having the most exact aspect to this ingress. Taurus, if you want to know exactly what planets Jupiter is aspecting while he transits the sign of Gemini, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Gemini, ascendant, sun, or moon. Jupiter is transiting in your first house. This is where you're going to have the most growth, abundance, and expansion. The first house is an angle house. It is the ascendant. So Gemini, if this is your ascendant, it's about you. Personal growth with your body, your physical self, and how others see you, how you want others to see you. That's going to expand. And if it's your moon, it's your emotional self and your home, your mother. The moon also rules over your body. So if this is your moon sign, it's most likely that you are the one who will most likely be expanding body-wise. And if you're a Gemini sun, this is about your identity, your soul, and possibly the male figures in your life. So if you wanted to be known for something, you want to be seen in a different light, you want to repair your reputation, this is the transit that's going to make it happen. This is a once in 12-year transit that is happening in your own sign. This is a transit that we all look forward to. Jupiter is going to essentially expand you. So this means that some of you could actually gain weight. Some of you could expand because you will get pregnant and you will be expanding your belly. And some of you and others of you will expand your muscles. This is exactly what I would suggest for you to do. This is a much more favorable expansion. As we all know, muscles burn fat. So if you don't want to gain any weight during this transit, I suggest that you hit the gym and start lifting those weights. The first house is the ascendant. So everything to do with your body is what you're going to focus on. So if you're trying to enhance a certain part of your body, this is the transit that's going to enable that expansion. And if you want to expand relationships or grow relationships with others, this is an excellent transit for you to do so, because the first house opposes the seventh house. So it can expand relationships with others. Although this transit is going to encourage you to focus on yourself, your personal growth, rather than the other person. The other person is just going to the other person is just going to be a witness of your growth. The ascendant is your identity. So Jupiter is going to expand your identity and your presence with others. If you're wanting to initiate a diet and exercise regimen, this is highly supported by this transit. Jupiter rules your seventh house of partnerships, and these partnerships are the committed type of partnerships like marriage, business partnerships, anything that you do with the other. Jupiter also rules your 10th house. The 10th house rules over our public self, how other people see us in the public. This house rules over the government, authority figures. It is also the parental axis, most likely your father or the parent that is more dominant. So essentially that means whatever expansion and growth that you're going to have is going to include your business relationships, your business partnerships, your marriage, and your public self. So essentially that means that this transit, it could bring an opportunity for expansion in your job. It could bring an expansion through partnership or marriage, because these other two houses are activated. Because this transit is happening very personally on your ascendant, your moon, or your sun sign, you have to be proactive to see the expansion. This expansion will happen using these other two houses. Some of you will get married, or you'll have a business partnership that is going to become very public. Marriage is an agreement that is known by the public, so essentially your status is going to change. The first house, being an angle house, is going to activate the opposite angle, your marriage house, which is already ruled by Jupiter, is also going to activate your 10th house, also ruled by Jupiter, and also will activate the opposing house, the 4th house, which squares your ascendant and squares your marriage house and opposes the MC. So Gemini, your entire life will change. Your entire life will change as a result of this transit. Your ruling planet Mercury is transiting in the sign of Taurus at around 15 degrees. Unfortunately, you are not aspecting you're not aspecting Jupiter at the time of his ingress. So this means you're busy taking care of other issues in the Taurus house of your chart. You're busy taking care of unfinished business in the 12th house of your chart. You're going to enter your own sign in about 2 weeks or so. Then you'll find out about the rules that Jupiter and Pluto set while you're basically asleep in the 12th house. Gemini, if you haven't listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you listen to the whole introduction, because this is your transit after all. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because next month you're having another really important transit in your sign. The Venus star point is happening in your sign on the 4th of June. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss this video. Cancer ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your 12th house. This is where you're going to have the growth and the expansion, of course, and abundance. The 12th house is, however, a hidden house. So this expansion and growth is probably going to take place behind the scenes. Jupiter in the 12th house is very positive in that it gives you protection for its entire transit. The 12th house also rules over generational karma that you didn't This is not karma that you created. This is karma that you inherit from previous generations simply because you're born into a certain family. Your awareness about this karma is going to be expanded. Whether it's good karma or bad karma, it all depends on your own natal birth chart. Jupiter rules your 6th and your 9th house. The 6th house rules over our daily routine, what we do for work. It rules over our health and our eating habits. It also rules over our known enemies. It rules over our co-workers. We work most of the days of the week, so we see our co-workers pretty much almost every day. And it also rules the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of our belief system, our higher belief system. It is the house of the future. It is a Jupiterian house. It rules over foreign lands, foreign countries. It rules over gurus. It rules over priests. It also rules over the justice system. The 12th house opposes the 6th house. The 12th house also rules over, the 12th house rules over hidden places like hospitals, mental asylums, prisons. So essentially this means that some of you could be dealing with a health issue because the 6th house is activated, the 6th house of your health, your diet and your exercise regimen. You could be dealing with a health issue that probably required hospitalization. I'm saying this because these two houses are activated. Others of you could be dealing with a health issue with your pet because the 6th house also rules over our pets. We do need to take care of our pets on a daily basis. The 12th house also rules over our hidden enemies. So perhaps Jupiter is going to expose your hidden enemies, probably going to need the help of a lawyer, 6th house, to fight your hidden enemies who have now become your known enemies, and you'll be using the justice system, the 9th house, in order to fight these now known enemies through the justice system. Others of you could be legalizing your status in a foreign land, 12th house. Perhaps you've been living in a foreign land for a long time, and now that the 9th house is activated, you want to be able to get your green card or your citizenship in order to live legally in this foreign land. You see how the activation of these houses will enable you to take advantage of these lucky opportunities. Your ruling planet, the moon, is not aspecting this ingress. He is, however, in a quincunx aspect with the sun, who is currently transiting the sign of Gemini. The quincunx aspect is an aspect of negotiation, is an aspect of you agreeing to disagree or perhaps negotiating certain terms. So Cancer, you might be dealing with legal issues, you might be dealing with hospitalization, you might be dealing with changing of medication or getting some much needed spiritual healing because of the 12th house activation. This means that this is an excellent time for you to consult a spiritual healer, to go into rehab, to get astrology readings, to get in touch with a guru. Some of you will have the opportunity to communicate with your ancestors through your dreams. They might be bringing some type of healing message to you. Cancer, if you'd like to know how this transit is going to aspect the planets in your own natal birth chart, I suggest that you take advantage of the special reading, the $60 special on the Jupiter transit. Book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Leo, ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your 11th house. This is where you're going to have abundance and expansion. This is where you'll have the most growth. The 11th house is a lucky house, so you're probably going to have a very positive experience with this transit. And your sign aspects the sign of Gemini in a sextile aspect. This is a positive aspect. This means that you're going to have an abundance of opportunities to grow this area of your chart. The 11th house rules over the groups that we belong to. It rules over social media. It rules social media platforms. This is the house where we find our benefactors. The other thing which is really positive about the 11th house, this is the house that rewards the work that we did in the 10th house. So you get your accolades, your promotions, your financial windfalls in this house. But remember, it's a sextile aspect. This means that you have to be on the lookout for opportunities, and you have to apply effort to make things happen. The other houses that Jupiter rules in your chart are the 5th house and the 8th house. The 5th house is a very lucky house as well. This is the house that rules over our good luck. Good luck that we earned in our past life and is just available to us in this lifetime. It rules over our creative ability. It rules over our children. It rules over our talents, our business ideas, the businesses that we initiate from our creative ability, from our creative talents. And the 8th house is the house of other people's money. It is a financial house. It is also the house of our secrets, the secrets that we keep from others, and sometimes even the secrets that we keep from ourselves. It's also a very deep karmic and psychological house. It rules over sex, death, and taxes. So all these things that I've mentioned are the things that are going to be activated in your chart. These are the areas where you're going to look for opportunities or use the opportunities from these areas in order to make things happen in your 11th house. So perhaps some of you are going to meet a benefactor who's going to provide the financial backing that they need in order to initiate their own business. Some of you may initiate an intimate relationship with a friend, expanding your friendship to another level and become more intimate. Some of you will get expansion in your 11th house because you decide to join a social media platform. You open a YouTube channel and you get expansion because you're displaying your creative talents. By doing so, it gives you access to other people's money through royalties or some type of earnings on a platform. Your ruling planet, the sun, is currently transiting the sign of Gemini at about 5 degrees of Gemini, which is a bit far away from Jupiter at the time of the ingress, but you are involved because you're lighting up the entrance of Jupiter. And you just recently had a Cazimi with Jupiter. So you are really paving the way for this transit. You do have a say about what goes on in this house at the time of the Jupiter ingress. So it's best for you to take advantage of the opportunities that are going to come your way during the time that you are still in the sign of Gemini. Also keep in mind that you're going to be part of the Gemini Venus, because you're going to be part of the Gemini Venus star point. I'm going to do a video on the Venus star point, so make sure you're subscribed. And ring the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload that video. So Leo, if you want to know how you can make the most of this transit while you still have a say, I suggest you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Virgo, ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your 10th house. This is where you're going to have the most abundance. This is where you're going to have abundance, expansion, and growth. The 10th house is a public house. With this transit, expect the public to know about you. This is an excellent transit for you to promote yourself, your business, or whatever it is that you want the public to know about you. So whatever Jupiter brings to you is going to be seen and known by the public. The 10th house rules over our status in society. It rules over the job that we do. It rules the government. The 10th house is a parental axis. That means one of your parents, the more authoritarian parent, is going to be activated during this transit. It also rules over the job that we do. So essentially this means that some of you could get a promotion. Others of you could expand your status. Others of you will expand your status in that you're going to become a parent. You're going to get married. You're going to start your own business. You're going to get a promotion. The other houses that Jupiter rules in your chart is the 4th house, and the 7th house. All these are angle house. So all your angles are activated. This means that this transit could absolutely change your entire life. It also means that you're going to aspect the Gemini house by a square. A square aspect is a challenging aspect. So this transit is going to bring some challenges your way. You're going to have to make some tough decisions. You're going to be pushed into taking action. So perhaps some of you need a square aspect in order for you to be pushed into making those important decisions, those life-changing decisions that will eventually bring you a lot of benefit in your career sector. The fourth house opposes the 10th house. So this means whatever changes happen in your 10th house, perhaps you're going to have a major change in your job. You're going to be offered a job opportunity in another town, and you may have, so that means you may have to, so that means your home area is affected in that you probably have to move homes. For some of you, it could be that something happens with your mother, perhaps a lucky event that affects your standing in society. Perhaps you provide some kind of support. Perhaps you help you start your own business, and you expand your identity that way. Others of you could experience positive changes through a business partnership. Your business partner could experience some type of luck. He's doing well and he decides to promote you. Your public self is expanded through a promotion. Others of you will have a status change because you get married. Remember, your 7th house is also activated. So that means your partners, that means your partnerships are also activated. So you could get married. You've gone from single to married, and perhaps having children. Your ruling planet Mercury is not aspecting Jupiter at the time of his ingress. You're probably dealing with a lot of other issues in your Aries house. You're not looking at or influencing what's happening in your Gemini house, in your 10th house. So perhaps you will find out about these promotions or these changes when your ruling planet moves into the sign of Gemini next month, or perhaps at the Venus, or perhaps at the Gemini Venus star point. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you're subscribed, because this Venus point is happening in the other sign that your planet rules. So this is going to be really important. This is going to be really important for you, Virgo. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload that video. But in the meantime, if you'd like to know how this ingress of Jupiter into Gemini is aspecting your own natal birth chart, I suggest you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Libra ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter will be transiting your 9th house. This is where you're going to experience the most growth, expansion and abundance. The 9th house is a Jupiterian house. It rules over our higher belief system. It is the house of our future. It rules over the justice system. It also rules over foreign lands, foreigners, foreign languages, priests, gurus, any type of person that has influenced your future. It also rules over higher education. So that means it rules over colleges and universities. This essentially means that Jupiter is providing you an opportunity to expand your intelligence, expand your knowledge. So perhaps some of you will decide to go to college. Some of you will decide to go and visit foreign lands or learn a foreign language. Jupiter rules to other houses in your chart. Jupiter rules the 3rd house and the 6th house. The 3rd house is the house of learning, basic education. So it could mean that some of you have finished your basic education and you're about to go into college. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over our siblings. It also rules over our mind, our ability to connect things mentally. This is also the house of our basic skills. You could be deciding to visit a foreign land with your siblings. The 6th house rules over our daily routine, our health, our exercise habits, our diet. It rules over the work that we do on a daily basis. It rules over our co-workers. This is the house where we fight. Getting up every day to go to work is not an easy task, but we do it because there's a reward. We do it on a daily basis. This is also the house of our pets. Some of you could be getting a new pet over this year. Since the 6th house is activated, the house of work, and the house of effort, the 3rd house, this means that some of you will be learning a hands-on skill that you can use to earn a better living, to get better work. Others of you will decide to go and work in a foreign land. 6th house activated, 6th house of work is activated. The 9th house of foreign land is activated. Some of you will be getting an opportunity to go overseas and work there. Some of you will be getting a job as a teacher or as a professor. This is an excellent time for you to expand your career in that way. The 3rd house is the house of writing. It's the house of speech. So if you're one of those people who has been having challenges speaking in public, this transit is going to help you get out there and speak eloquently to the public. Or perhaps you'll be more confident giving lectures to your students. And for some of you who've been wanting to enter the priesthood, this is an excellent transit for you to become a priest and reinforce your faith in religion. The third house is the house of the mind. It's the house of writing. So if you've been wanting to write a book, this is an excellent transit that this is the transit that you've been waiting for to write your book. And there's a possibility of you publishing this book towards the end of this transit, simply because the house of writing is activated, the house of the mind, and the house of publishing, the ninth house, is also activated. So we have to combine all these houses in order to really get a bigger picture of what Jupiter is trying to do, what Jupiter is trying to bless you with over this year. Your ruling planet Venus has a say at the time of the ingress of Jupiter, simply because Venus is transiting the sign of Gemini and also aspecting Pluto, and also aspecting Pluto, who's making the most exact aspect to Jupiter. So these three are having a conversation at the time of this ingress. So the beginning of this transit is the best time for you to make plans of how you're going to use the transit of Jupiter in Gemini. Remember, Libra, your sign aspects Gemini by a trine aspect. So Jupiter is going to make things happen effortlessly and seamlessly. Opportunities are just going to fall into your lap. You have to be willing to accept, you have to be open to accepting this energy and taking advantage of all the opportunities. You have a say at the time of this transit, and you're going to lose that say when Venus leaves the sign of Gemini. So I would say this is your moment to really set intentions and set a plan. Remember, your ruling planet is going to be Cazimi the Sun. It's going to be Cazimi the Sun at the Gemini Venus star point on the 4th of June. I'm going to be making a video about this conjunction. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that you may be notified when I upload that video. Also, make sure to like and share this video. This is the transit that you've been waiting for to put yourself out there, Libra. So if you'd like to know how this transit is going to affect you personally, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter is transiting your 8th house. This is where you're going to have the most growth, expansion and abundance. The 8th house is a Scorpio house, so you're very familiar with this energy. The 8th house rules over other people's money. It rules over inheritances, loans, mortgages, unearned money. It also rules over intimate relationships. This is the house where we bond with another on a deep emotional level. This is the house where we share resources. This is also the house that rules over death, sex, and taxes. Jupiter rules 2 other houses in your chart. It rules the 2nd house, which opposes the 8th house. So this means that if you're trying to start your own business, some of you will be lucky in that you'll get the financing that you need in order to start your own business. Jupiter also rules your 5th house, which is also a lucky house. This is a house of luck. Luck that we earned in a past life. So this luck is available to us in this lifetime. We don't have to work for this luck. The 2nd house is a financial house. The 8th house is a financial house. The 5th house is also a financial house. So this transit will be about finances, your earning ability perhaps through starting your own business. 5th house, using your talents, or perhaps earning through your children, because the 5th house rules over our creativity, and our greatest creation are our children. So perhaps some of you will be earning money through your child, a child who's highly talented. Maybe they're in music, or perhaps they're an actor. So this house is activated. So Scorpio, if you've been having problems getting pregnant, this is the transit that's going to make it happen. The house of sex, the 8th house, is activated. The 5th house of other people, the 5th house of creativity is also activated. The 2nd house of the family that we create with another person is also activated. This is screaming deep intimacy, more sex, which could possibly lead to a pregnancy, or just enjoying it. And through that, you're creating a family that you've chosen. This is an excellent transit for you, Scorpio. It comes only once in 12 years. Make sure you're optimizing everything, all the opportunities that come your way. If you've been having blockages or difficulty getting pregnant, this is the transit that is going to make it happen. The fifth house does rule over sex, romance, and creativity, and it's being highly activated. If having children is not your, if having children is out of the picture for you, this could mean that it's activating you having grandchildren. And if it's not grandchildren, it could just be that you're finding more joy in life. You're being more romantic. You're having more fun. This is the house of joy. So if you've been unhappy, this is the time to go out there, find some joy, go on a vacation, enjoy yourself, find some joy in your life, have a whirlwind romance. This is the transit that could bring a soulmate in your life. Others of you will be expanding financially because of an inheritance. The 8th house does rule over inheritances. So this essentially means that perhaps a relative will be transitioning, and as a result of them transitioning, you get an inheritance. And for some of you that already have a business, you might be introducing something new to your business. Perhaps you're going to get more creative. You're going to earn more of other people's money. If you've been involved in a relationship for a long time, some of you are going to decide to move in together, merge finances, giving you access to other people's money. So you're going to have two incomes, more money. So you'll have more money coming to you. For others, the expansion will have to do with something mental, because the 12th, something mental, something mental or psychological, because the 8th house is a house of psychology. It is the house of our secrets that we perhaps even hide from ourselves. So some of you will come face to face with the things that you've been hiding under the bed. Those things are going to surface, and perhaps it's going to be time for you to get some type of psychological mental healing. Some of you are going to go into therapy. Others of you will become the therapist. You'll be giving this healing to others, and of course getting paid for it. The 5th house of luck is activated. This means that some of you will get lucky financially through a windfall, perhaps a lottery win. So essentially that means that this year is an excellent year for you to take some it's an excellent year for you to take some chances, to try your luck with the stocks, to try your luck gambling at the casino, or to buy a few lottery tickets. If there's a year that you're going to get access to other people's money, this is the year. I remember the last time when Jupiter was transiting my 8th house in 2000, from 2000 to 2001, I had so much luck with other people's money. By selling my house, getting a second mortgage, getting car loans. People were just handing out money. If you want to get any type of financing for your pet projects, for one of your talents that you want to turn into a business, this is the year to go and apply for those loans. It's very likely that you will get approved. Your ruling planet is not aspecting the ingress of Jupiter into Gemini simply because he's transiting his own sign of Aries. So that means you're probably still taking care of some issues in your Aries house, in your 6th house of day-to-day duties. Or perhaps you're taking care of things with your health. You're going to see these other opportunities a little bit later on in the month, a little bit later on next month. Your ruling planet is, however, aspecting the sign of Gemini by a sextile aspect. So that means that you're still getting opportunities. You're still aware of the opportunities. Your other ruling planet, Pluto, is making the most exact aspect to Jupiter at the time of his ingress. So Scorpio, this says that you have a say, you have a chance to set the foundation or the rules of how you want to use the energy of Jupiter as he begins his transit. You're going to lose this trine aspect because you're moving retrograde and Jupiter is moving forward. So this is your opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming your way. Even though your other ruling planet Mars is busy taking care of things in your Aries house, you still have this opportunity to negotiate big money, because remember, as I said in the beginning, Jupiter-Pluto aspects are aspects of big money, big funding. This is going to be an excellent transit for you, Scorpio. If you'd like to know how this transit is going to affect you according to your own natal placements in your birth chart, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Remember to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. If you have not listened to the introduction of this video, Scorpio, I suggest that you go and listen to the entire introduction because there is more information. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun, or moon. Jupiter is transiting your 7th house. This is where you'll have the most growth and expansion, of course, and abundance. The 7th house is an angle house. And when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. So this essentially means that you could have major changes. So this means that this transit could absolutely change your entire life. The 7th house rules over other people, the other people that you deal with in business or in business partnerships. It rules over our commitment. It rules over our committed partnerships. It rules over marriage. It rules over marriage. It also rules over our open enemies. And our open enemies can come as a result of a breakup, or as a result of a breakup in a business partnership or a divorce. So essentially this means that if you've been having problems in your business partnership or your marriage, Jupiter is going to liberate you from this business relationship or your marriage. And the good thing is that while Jupiter is there, Jupiter is going to replace that empty space with the right business partner and with the right marriage partner. So if a marriage breaks or a business partnership breaks, just let it go. This is your liberation. Sagittarius, Jupiter is you. You're going to lose that trine aspect to Pluto when Jupiter starts moving further into Gemini, and when Pluto starts backing out of Aquarius, moving back into Capricorn. This is the time for you to set the rules of how you want this transit to serve you. You are Jupiter. Yes, you are in detriment in that sign, but you will find a way to make things happen and to expand relationships, to expand business in a way that is beneficial to you, especially this time when Mercury is currently not aspecting this sign. He's in a different sign that does not aspect his own sign. So take advantage of this opportunity. Do not let it waste. Jupiter rules 2 other houses in your chart. Jupiter rules you, your ascendant, the 1st house, an angle house, and it's opposing the 7th house. The power is with the others though. The power in this situation is with the others because they're the ones who are having the Jupiter transit. So you may have to reconcile and negotiate. You have to meet the other person halfway in order to make things happen. And in other cases, other people will oppose you and you perhaps just have to let them go. You have to liberate them. And by liberating them, you liberate yourself. Actually, this means there will be a lot of communication, a lot of contract signing, and perhaps increased business because Jupiter is increasing the activity between you and the other person. So this is an excellent transit to expand yourself in business or in your partnerships because you're going to have a multitude or several people courting you at the same time. This is why other people will opt out of their commitment in order to start a better relationship with somebody else. And for some of you who are single, this means that this transit is going to bring you an ideal partner, an ideal mate to start a relationship with. And this relationship could possibly lead to marriage. Most people get married whenever Jupiter is transiting their 7th house, or they meet their soulmate. Jupiter also rules over your 4th house. So it means that you also experience some type of expansion in your 4th house. So perhaps some of you will decide to get married, and because you're married, your home expands because you're no longer living alone. You're living with your wife or your husband. Or some of you might decide to buy a home with your partner. So it means that whatever is going to be expanded in your home area with yourself and in your relationship is going to come as a result of perhaps improved business relationships, improved relations in your partnership. If your marriage or committed relationship has not been faring well, has been through some tough times, this transit will help repair the relationship, but you have to meet the other person halfway. There has to be some type of compromise and negotiation to get things going. Your ruling planet Jupiter is very involved in this transit. You are Jupiter. You are the person conjuncting the descendant, your seventh house. So you are intimately involved with the other person. The seventh house is also the house of sex. So if you've been dry in that area, you're definitely going to have much more activity because Jupiter is putting you in contact with the other person. You are transiting the sign of the other person. You are empowering the other person. Your ruling planet Jupiter has an exact aspect with Pluto, who's transiting in Aquarius. That is an air sign, as is Gemini. So you are having a trine aspect. This means that as long as you're open to negotiation and compromise, opportunities are going to come your way, and they're going to come your way easily. This is what the trine aspect does. It makes energy flow harmoniously between the houses. Keep in mind that Pluto is transiting retrograde, so he's going to go back into the sign of Capricorn, and you are moving forward. You're not going to have this aspect again. So the beginning of this transit is when you set the rules of how this transit is going to work for you, because this is when you have the favorable harmonious trine aspect, which you're going to eventually lose as Pluto moves away and Jupiter moves forward. Sagittarius, this is a really life-changing transit. If you'd like to know how this is going to affect you according to your own natal placement, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on my next video. Ring the bell icon so that you're notified when I upload my next video. Capricorn ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter is transiting your sixth house. This is where you're going to experience growth, abundance, and expansion. The sixth house is the sixth house is somewhat a difficult house because this is the house where we fight. This is the house where we have to perform. This is the house where we have to apply some type of effort, because this house rules over our daily routine, which requires, of course, some effort. It rules over work. We have to go to work almost every day. It also rules over our health habits, our exercise habits. It also rules over our health. And sometimes we may experience health challenges. We may be ill, have chronic illness, and we need to fight those illnesses. This house also rules over our work that we do every day and our co-workers. So it also rules over our known enemies, and by proxy, our lawyers that we use to defend ourselves against our known enemies. So if some of you have been having problems with your employer or problems with a co-worker, this is an excellent time for you to hire an attorney. You know, Jupiter rules the natural ninth house of the zodiac. It rules the Sagittarian house, which is the legal system. So this could essentially be happening for some of you. The sixth house also rules over our pets. Some of you might adopt a pet over the next year. Jupiter rules two other houses in your chart. It rules the third house. It rules the third house and the 12th house. So you see there's something going on here. You have the 12th house, which opposes the sixth house. The 12th house rules over foreign lands. It rules over hidden places. It rules over generational karma. Karma that you were born into just because of your last name. The other hidden places could be prisons, it could be hospitals, or mental asylums, or rehab facilities. So if you've and the third house is the house of the mind, the house of thinking, and the house of self-talk. So if you've been if you're one of those people who if you're one of those people who has negative self-talk, Jupiter is going to expand that. And for some of you, Jupiter could expand mental illness, where you end up in an asylum, or you end up seeking, or you end up seeking help through therapy, or you end up in hospital, or you just isolate yourself from society in order to get spiritual healing or mental healing. One of the positive parts of having Jupiter transiting the sixth house is that if you've been out of work and you're looking for work, Jupiter is going to help you find gainful employment. It's not necessarily going to be easy work because Jupiter is in the house of work. So you're going to have a lot of work. You're going to be pretty busy, and it might have to do with a lot of communication and writing, because the third house is also activated. Or you could find work in your neighborhood. This is an excellent time for you to look for work within your neighborhood, like delivering food or doing Uber. This transit is promoting that type of work. If you've been suffering from some type of illness, Jupiter is going to help you get some healing. Jupiter is giving you some level of protection as long as you get treatment for that, as long as you get treatment for that illness. So if you have not had a physical checkup in a long time, this is an excellent transit for you to get yourself checked out, because you will find out what is wrong with you, and Jupiter is going to help you find healing. He's going to expand healing. So if you don't get to find out soon enough what's wrong with you, Jupiter will expand whatever is wrong with you to the point that you will have to go to a doctor and you will have to seek treatment. So if it's a small tumor, Jupiter can expand it. But if you go to the doctor and find out what is wrong with you, Jupiter will help you heal that tumor. This could be a very healing transit if you have health problems. And if you have health problems and you're willing to take action to get that necessary healing. The opposing house, the 12th house, is the house of our hidden enemies. So some of your hidden enemies could be exposed at this time. And our hidden enemies could be our bad habits, our addictions. This is time for you to take that time. This is a good time to isolate yourself and get healing. Go to rehab, get treatment, get daily treatment in order to treat your addictions. Your ruling planet Saturn is not aspecting Jupiter at the time of this ingress. He is transiting in the sign of Pisces at around 16 degrees of Pisces. However, Jupiter and Saturn are going to meet up in a square aspect in August. This is the checkpoint that I'm talking about. This is where you're going to be asked, this is where you're going to have to make some decisions. So perhaps this is when some of you will find out that there is actually something wrong with you, with your health, and you have to take action. You have to make some decisions about your treatment, or it could be something else, or you could be let go of a job at that time. You might have to go in a different direction as to what type of work you do. This square aspect is going to happen again at the end of the year. Capricorn, this is a very important transit. This is a very important transit that may change your daily routine, your work, your life with your pet, your health. So if you want to know how it will affect you according to your own natal placements, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the discounted special reading. Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This transit is happening in your 5th house. This is where you will experience growth, abundance, and expansion. Fortunately for you, Aquarius, this is a lucky house, and Jupiter loves transiting the 5th house, and your sign aspects the sign of Gemini with a trine aspect, which is a harmonious aspect. It's the best aspect you can have in astrology. So that means things will kind of just fall into place for you. They'll happen effortlessly. The 5th house rules over our creative ability, and our greatest creation are our children. It rules over our talents. It rules over good luck that is presented to us in this lifetime because we earned it in a past lifetime. So this could be a very, very lucky transit for you, Aquarius. Having problems getting pregnant, this is the transit that's going to make it happen. The 5th house of creativity is also activated. This is screaming deep intimacy, more sex, which could possibly lead to a pregnancy, or just enjoying it. This is an excellent transit. It comes only once in 12 years. Take advantage of, make sure you're optimizing everything, all the opportunities that come your way. Aquarius, if you've been having blockages or difficulty getting pregnant, this is the transit that is going to make it happen. The 5th house does rule over sex, romance, and creativity, and it's being highly activated. If having children is out of the picture for you, this could mean that it's activating you having grandchildren. And if it's not grandchildren, it could just be that you're finding more joy in life. You're being more romantic. You're having more fun. This is the house of joy. So if you've been unhappy, this is the time to go out there, find some joy, go on a vacation, enjoy yourself, find some joy in your life, have a whirlwind romance. This is the transit that could bring a soulmate in your life. Pluto is transiting your ascendant and transforming you on a deep, deep level. Transiting Pluto is making the most exact aspect to Jupiter at the time of his ingress. So since Pluto is in your sign, you are directing Pluto. So essentially that means that you have a big say at what happens or what you set up at the beginning of this ingress. You are, however, going to lose that power because Pluto is moving retrograde and is going to move back into the sign of Capricorn, and Jupiter is going to move ahead and they're not going to meet again. It's really important that you're receptive to whatever opportunities are coming your way. Jupiter rules to other houses in your chart. Jupiter rules the second house. Jupiter rules the second house and the 11th house. All these are financial houses. They're lucky houses. They're houses of reward. The houses where we get some type of promotion or financial abundance. The second house is the house of our earning ability. So perhaps some of you are going to get lucky in that you expand your social media presence, you tell people about your creativity, your creative talents, and you meet a benefactor. 11th house, the 11th house rules over our benefactors, a benefactor who's willing to fund your project. So you get financing for you get lucky and get financing for your project, your business, and your earning ability increases as a result of this luck. Aquarius, this transit happens only once in 12 years. Don't let the opportunities slip you by. Sometimes with the trine aspect, we just get so complacent and lazy because we think everything is just going to come to us. So don't be that person. Don't lose this don't lose this chance. This is an excellent transit for you to increase your social media presence so that you can earn more money. So if you have a business and you don't have a YouTube channel, you don't have any, you're not a member of any platform, this is the transit for you to go out there and put yourself out there, be known in different types of organizations. This is an excellent transit for you to use your creative ability to earn more money. Have a side gig to earn money through social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram. Put yourself out there, speak up. This is the house of speech. This is the house of ideas. This is the house of house of your mouth. It also rules the house of your mouth and what comes out of it. This is the transit for you to be out there socially, to expose yourself with friends, make the right connections, go and meet and greet people, go to social functions. Your ruling planet Uranus is not aspecting Jupiter at the time of his ingress. So you don't really have much of a say. That means you cannot stay hidden and in the background, because if you don't speak up, you don't present yourself, you're not going to be heard. Your ruling planet Saturn is also not aspecting Jupiter at the time of his ingress. However, Saturn and Jupiter are going to square sometime in August and at the end of the year. This is going to be a checkpoint and probably a reminder of what you may have missed out on, or perhaps a break in some of the things that you may have started. I can't say for sure how it's going to aspect your own natal birth chart. So if you want to know what is going to be aspected at the time of the ingress and later on, I suggest you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. This is going to be a life-changing transit. It's a lucky transit. Don't miss out on the opportunities that Jupiter is here to bless you with. Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon. Jupiter is transiting your 4th house. This is where you're going to experience growth, abundance, and expansion. The 4th house is an angle house. When an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This transit could absolutely change your entire life. The 4th house and the 10th house is a parental axis. Some of these changes and expansion will involve one of your parents, most likely your mother, because the 4th house rules over your home, your family, and your mother, or the more nurturing parent. The 4th house also rules over your ancestry. It also rules some of the resentments that you may have towards it also rules over some of your deep resentments that you may have towards your family, your home, or your ancestry. It is going to expand information about your ancestry, about your family. So if there are any hidden secrets, because secrets also are hidden in the 4th house, you are going to find out about the secret. So perhaps you're adopted and you didn't know. Jupiter will expand information in this area. Somebody is going to slip up and let you know that you were adopted, or if you've been that you were adopted, or if you've been doing the research, this is the time that you're going to find this information. For others of you, Jupiter is going to expand this area. Your parent is going to move in and start living with you, or it's going to expand it through a birth. So some of you are going to have a child, and your home is your family is going to get bigger. Others of you are going to find your dream home, and it's going to expand your happiness. It's going to expand your happiness there. Jupiter rules 2 other houses in your chart. It rules you, it rules your ascendant. So you are going to expand somehow in your home. This could mean that you might start working from home and expand your presence in your home, and perhaps even your happiness. And sometimes that could also lead to you expanding yourself. And as I said earlier, it could expand your home, it could expand your family through a birth. So you'll be expanding yourself because you're pregnant. Jupiter also rules your 10th house. So perhaps some of you are going to have a promotion, and because of that promotion you're going to earn more money. That money is going to enable you to get a better home, perhaps buy a home. That already own a home, you might be expanding your home. Maybe you renovate your basement and make it livable and have your parents live in your basement, or perhaps you have a ranch house and you build another floor above your house. Your ruling planet is Jupiter, so it's you who's in the 4th house, and this is why I say some of you will be working from home. You'll be expanding yourself somehow in the home. Your ruling planet Jupiter does not really like being in this house because he is in detriment. That doesn't mean that you're not going to find some type of joy. You'll still find a way to make things work, to bring some type of joy and abundance in this area. Because after all, you are the one directing the energy in this house. And the owner of this house, Mercury, is not even present at the time of your ingress. So this is the time that you can use. This is the beginning of the beginning of this transit is the time that you can use this energy positively and set up the rules as to how you're going to operate in this house while Mercury is busy in the other house. Pluto is making the most exact aspect at the time of this transit. This is a positive aspect that's going to bring transformation between these 2 houses. So take advantage of this energy, because as you transit further into Gemini, you're going to lose this trine aspect to Pluto, because he's also transiting retrograde and moving into another sign, Capricorn. So essentially that means the beginning of this transit is going to be very powerful for you. This is time to set the rules of how you're going to operate in this house. Neptune, your other ruling planet, is aspecting Jupiter by a sextile aspect. It's kind of like an out of sign sextile, but it's still functional. So there's a lot of positive energy for you at the time of your ingress into the sign of Gemini. If you'd like to know how this transit is aspecting the other placements in your own natal birth chart, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like this video, share this video, and make sure to ring the bell icon because you want to know when I'm uploading my next video.